We are going to have very, very big spoiler territory right now. Leaks confirmed. Major spoilers, last chance to click off. I'm just gonna leave that here. We are gonna go through this one by one. Yo, what's up, guys? I'm SYROBE, back once again. Yesterday was crazy. We had a ton of pre-embargo leaks. The embargo just lifted earlier today, so we were actually able to verify whether or not what we saw from the leaks were true. A lot of people in my last video said that it was fake, said it was a mod, said I was dumb, disliked the video. My last video got disliked into oblivion. It is my most disliked video on my channel, but I'm at least happy to announce that almost everything that we saw was legit, and I have provided an entire Google Doc that I'll leave in the description below so you guys can see it and check it out and look and verify everything for yourselves. These are no longer leaks. These are from actual sources. I have everything timestamped here. So again, if you don't want to see that, last chance to click off. I'm about to put it up right now. So here's the Google Doc that I made. Heavy spoilers ahead. Created with the help of my community. All of this was streamed live, so thank you so much to everybody that tuned in my stream. Literally all over the world, people were coming in to like piece together every little bit of information to check and verify if the leaks were real. This is what we knew pre-embargo. So I have two sections. We have pre-embargo and post-embargo. The embargo was lifted earlier today on June 18th at around 7 a.m., 8 a.m., around that time. And that was the only time that people were allowed to officially confirm or show things and not, break any rules or regulations that From Software has stipulated. So this is what we knew pre-embargo. This is from the leaks that we saw. There was half of the Bayle the Dread fight, which unironically actually was confirmed indirectly through Vati Vidia's lore video when the first embargo lifted on the early playtesters and not the review testers. I knew this one was real just because of Vati's video saying that Bayle the Dread was a boss. And like, this one might be the hardest boss in the entire DLC. I don't think anything else will be as hard as this one. This is everything that we knew. Pieces of the map. We saw the remembrances, but we didn't see every single boss. And we saw a couple of the big game ending game fights right here. Again, this was not leaked by me or my community. This all came from like Reddit and like Twitter, 4chan, other like random sources that have now been proven true by actual sources. So all of the things that people were saying were rumors or fake, it has now been proven. So now we're going to get to the actual full embargo confirmations post-embargo. No leaks at all. This is all real sources. I'm going to share this Google Doc in my description. You guys can go verify everything. We have the full map right here. This is the full thing. It was accurate to the leaks. In the leaks, we saw this part right here, the little part. We saw that part right there. We also saw like kind of the left part. I think apparently the DLC playtesters started like here or like around there. I don't know. And this is the entire map. We only saw a little fragment of it, but it looks like it lines up pretty well with everything else that we've seen. So this is the entire full map. Again, this was posted by Fighting Cowboy on his YouTube. Official source. I have it linked and timestamped. Next one, we're going back. We have the boss remembrances. Again, all of the remembrances that I mentioned earlier, I went back, found gameplay footage of every single alleged remembrance boss. And whether or not they actually give a remembrance will be another thing, but at least these bosses exist. So everything that was in that leaked remembrance screenshot lines up with every single boss on this list. And we're going to get into them one by one and show actual gameplay of them. So number one is the dancing lion. Everyone has seen that already. That's not even a secret. It was in the trailer. Iron Pineapple's video shows him fighting the lion fight and the second boss right after, which was also in the playtest. So, and it adds a lot more credibility to everything else because we knew it was real from the beginning, like something tangible to base all our speculation on. And we kind of confirmed it here on my stream today. Again, Iron Pineapple's video. So again, this is the Rolana fight. A few times where I literally the dancing fight, the dancing lion fight in this fight looks pretty crazy. Getting juggled. And that's this is again more lion dancer. These are the first two bosses that you're supposed to see in the DLC. Really again, we're gonna go over every single one, so feel free to skip around. We're just kind of going through it.
Like if you ask me what my favorite bosses in the game are now, most of them would be from the DLC.
The third Remembrance Night, I recognized it from the trailer. Again, this number 3 was in the trailer. Putrescent Night. Now, this one was a bit weird. I had to have two different sources. So I found out the name from a PC Gamer article. So this came from PC Gamer. And this one is literally named Putrescent Night. This is the fight of him. This is the fight. It was posted by a Chinese account on YouTube. Shout out to A9VG. Insane. A lot of the biggest confirmations came from this channel specifically that most other Western YouTubers didn't even bother covering or just only hinted at. He showed everything. This is the fight. It's crazy. He gets off of his horse at some point. Fire everywhere. He ends up getting off his horse, and then the horse fights you while he's flying at you. Fights you directly, then leaves. Horse charges at you while he's flying at you in a different direction. Horse hits you again. Like it feels like it's a gang fight almost. I think that's just one move. So I wouldn't consider it entirely a gang fight. I think it's very, very unique boss fight. So I think that's definitely worthy of being a remembrance boss at the very least. The next one that we have is Commander Gaius. A lot of people said that this one felt lazy. Again, just wait. All of the speculation and things should wait until we actually play the game. Now we have this one again. Iron Pineapple's video showed Commander Gaius. That was the remembrance. Looked just like it. Way too much zoomage. Let me get that back out.
Playstyles infinitely more engaging and rewarding. I had so much fun relying on this for multiple bosses. And
This one, a lot of people said looked like a sunflower. I thought it did too. And then we saw the embargo lift, and we actually found, like, yeah, there's actually a sunflower. It's right here. This is a Erdtree avatar from Esports. I think other people covered it too, but this is where I noticed it in my stream. This is where people linked me from. Right here. It looks like a Regirock. If you've ever seen Regirock, you know, Pokemon, any Pokemon fans, it reminds me a lot of Regirock, like a Regigrass, bro. We have like a Regigrass here. Look at the eyes. It looks kind of creepy. I like it. Even though it's a sunflower, it's clearly alive. But yeah, that's the sunflower boss that was in the Remembrance as well. So allegedly a sunflower boss. It looks like it has bleed buildup. Like, so I don't know if this is related to like Briar stuff, but I did see somebody in a separate video use a spell that I think you get from this boss, which is like a Briar spell. It causes bleed. Then there was another one, which was the Romina Saint of Bud. Now this one, it looked like a centipede in the Remembrance. And again, we have actual confirmation on what it is. So I found out it was shown here in a Eurogamer article. They took a screenshot of them fighting it. Romina Saint of Saint of the Bud. Sorry, so Romina Saint of the Bud. Her entire arena is covered in scarlet rot. For some reason, in this area, scarlet rot is pink. I don't know why. There's probably a lore reason. So this fight is actually here in this other video, which is funny because this actually comes from Garden of Eyes, who a lot of people were saying made the fake Radon boss fight mod, which hopefully this explains why he couldn't confirm or deny the boss fight mod, because he is reviewing the game. He did get a review copy somehow. I don't know. But this person did get their hands on a review copy. They did. This is their gameplay. I haven't seen anyone else fight this boss or post actual gameplay, like full fight of this boss. He didn't have the name, so I had to go find it from someone else, and this was from Eurogamer again. So we do have confirmation that this boss fight is real. The Centipede Remembrance is real at the very least. Again, going off the Remembrance leaks, this is the Centipede boss that we saw. It has a stinger. It does Scarlet Rot. Very cool boss fight. I think this is visually one of my favorite boss fights. I think this is actually a really cool boss fight. And I think from this boss, you do get the pink butterfly spell that you saw in the trailer. So the one where that one person is casting the incantation that spins you around with pink butterflies, that has been confirmed to be this person's spell. I don't think they use it in this video, but in a different video. I think it was a Chinese video that I saw they did it. So that's that boss confirmed. That is another remembrance. We have seen the spells. Messmer, the Impaler, again, a lot of people saw the leaks. It said base serpent Messmer. A lot of people were trying to speculate what base meant, like if it has some sort of, like, I don't know, ancient meaning, like base means like, you know, untainted or something. I think it was just a placeholder name. Kind of confirms the leak. This was the exact same in the leak. You get a spell from Messmer, or you get his spear when you kill him. And that has been confirmed. You get his spear. His spear has a charged heavy attack. I think Iron Pineapple actually showed it in his other video. This is Messmer's thing. I think charged heavy throws his spear and explodes with fire. That's not an Ash of War. His Ash of War is a lot better. This is just a charge heavy, which is a really good charge heavy. But he's using Messmer's spear right here. As you can see, it says Messmer's Assault. This is just a charge heavy. Notice it doesn't take any mana or FP. It's all just a charge attack. So pretty solid charge attack. What, like 1,600 charge attack is pretty fucking solid. Gaius gives you his lance and a gravity Ash of War. Oh, it's an Ash of War. Okay, it's not a spell. It's an Ash of War for Gaius. We're gonna look at the Messmer fight here. I think this was on Gamer Ranks. Right here.
Quite as hard as Millennia. There's new mechanics that boost.
You do get his spell. You get a spell from Messmer, or you get his spear.
Field compared to her, but some of them are definitely close. Do you love absurdly long attack strings that always seem to have one more attack after you think they're over? How about massive area of effects that can trigger on a dime and are nearly impossible to dodge through?
This hippopotamus, I don't know. Is this a remembrance boss? I don't think it is, but we saw this in the trailer as well. Apparently people wanted to see gameplay of it. I don't know why, but here it is. It's basically like a Crucible Elden Beast almost. That's what it looks like to me. Now this is the big one. This is what people said was a mod. People said this was fake. It looks unfinished. It looks so bad. It looks like terrible. Like, again, the reason I think that, I said this in my last video. Everyone called me wrong. Everyone said I was dumb for believing it. But in my last video, I literally said it is probably a placeholder. They're probably going to swap out the assets. It's probably going to get updated with the day one version of the build. At the end of the day, all I wanted to do was verify if it was real or not. I've seen enough. This shit is real. This shit is real. Yep, it's real. If it is true, it looks a little bit lazy because we don't have the context of why it's happening. And do you reckon the final boss is real? Yes. I just think it wasn't the. I just didn't think it doesn't have a day one patch. I think there's just no day one patch. I think that's all it boils down to. There should have been a day one patch that is coming with the DLC, and I think that boss fight is just people accessing it earlier before the day one patch. It's probably gonna get changed somehow in some way. And that I ended up getting gaslit into thinking it was fake completely. Initially, I was like, yeah, that looks pretty real. It just looks like a placeholder. Because if you know anything about game design or the gaming industry, a lot of the times they use placeholder assets because they need to make sure the code and the systems work before all of the visuals look perfect. It's a common thing. If you look up the GTA 6 leaks, all of the GTA 6 leaks, everyone said looked terrible. All of the new Skate video game leaks everyone said looked terrible. It's because they're placeholders. They're like white box. They're not finished. They're not meant to be finished. All of the code and everything should work. As long as the model gives you a general idea of what it should look like, that's all that matters. So the animations look stiff. The effects looked a little wonky, like they didn't have like perfect hitboxes. Everyone said the audio was reused audio, reused OST, reused abilities, reused movesets. Everybody was over-speculating the fuck out of everything. Even now, people are still coping and saying it's not real. So here's the proof that this boss fight does exist. I cannot show you the leak because no one is allowed to show the actual boss fight. No one. Apparently, the ending game bosses, like the actual end story bosses, are from people that said that they cannot show it. So they've kind of confirmed its existence, but they can't show it. And I'm pretty sure the reason FromSoft is not letting people show it is because from the leak, like we saw, it looks unfinished. Pretty much unfinished. Yes, it's been leaked, but I'm showing you this is actual verification that it's real. From what we know, here is another Chinese video. Shout out to China. They have some of the most in-depth stuff when it comes to this. This is Radahn's weapons. There is no mistaking it. That is literally what his weapons look like. Some people said that it wasn't the same because the symbol or the sigil on the sword is not the gravity sigil on his main sword. But if you know about the lore and you know about how it's holy, he's not holy either. Radahn does not use holy magic. He's never used holy magic or faith spells or incantations or anything. He's always been a part of the Carrion family. He's always used intelligence. His swords even require intelligence. So this is probably going to be maybe a faith int scaling weapon, or maybe it's just a strength faith. And it's using the same exact move that everyone said was a ripoff of Pontiff. Everyone said that that attack right here that is being shown was a ripoff of Pontiff. This is it. And again, if you don't buy it, if you don't buy this Chinese video right here, this is very high quality. Like, he only shows it for a split second, but again, you're not allowed to show the final boss. He's showing the remembrance weapon that he got from the final boss, but he can't show the actual boss fight. I don't think anyone is allowed to. There's even more here. This one is very low quality, but I think because I don't use Bilibili, but apparently on Bilibili, you have to sign up for an account to get higher resolution. I don't know. Someone can verify that. Let me know. Right here, you see he has, again, Radahn's weapons. But it's a lot longer. You see multiple attacks, chain Ash of War follow-ups, jump attack, and then boom, a finisher that goes all around. 4 follow-up attacks on the Ash of War. Again, this is a reviewer copy. This is someone who's reviewing it from China. This is not like a leak. This is like a 14-minute long review on Bilibili. Again, I don't speak Mandarin, so please correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is just a genuine review of the game, but in Mandarin. He did like 4,000 on his first attack, if you can see the Giant's HP bar. Yeah, like right there. I don't know if you can see that. It's like 4,000 after that first gold wave. He did like 12,000. That's 12,000 damage at the ending combo. If you could barely see that. So hard to see with the pixels. That's the same moveset. That is the exact same move that everybody said, this is lazy. There's no way this is real. It has to be a mod. It's just the same Pontiff. It's just a Pontiff reuse. That is literally, if you know the leaks, and you know what people are talking about being a Pontiff reuse of the animation that Pontiff used, this is the exact same move he used on you guys. With the exact same Mikola spell that like kind of is enchanting the swords. People are still coping on this on Reddit. People on Reddit and all over the internet are still coping that this is fake. This is pretty fucking legit right here. Again, I don't think most people have seen this. It was really hard to find. Thank you for all of my community members all over the world. I had a couple of people in here that used Bilibili and Chinese websites, so it's a reviewer copy. He even has like a fucking advertisement towards the end where he's promoting an ROG laptop, gaming laptop. So like, I don't think they would have a sponsor as big as ROG and like a leaked video that they're not allowed to show. This is like an actual sponsorship. So those were the reasons that we can pretty much confirm the Radahn fight is real. Again, I have speculated initially. Everyone called me dumb. Everyone called me wrong. Everyone said I was an idiot for believing it. But I said to begin with, it looks like a good fight. It just looks unfinished. It looks like it needs a little bit more polish that they can fix in the day 1 patch that they even confirmed right here. They confirmed that there would be a day 1 patch. A lot of people are saying, well, the patch is just adding the DLC, but what you don't understand is they're adding a newer build of the DLC than maybe what the reviewers had, or they're adding a different build of the DLC that maybe the playtesters didn't have, or whatever. It could be the newest version of the game that nobody has experienced yet. Literally has been pretty much confirmed. Like, if you don't believe what I've just shown you right now, you're just coping. That is just pure cope. People that were calling me dumb and are still coping and trying to be like, well, no, now this looks fake. Now this looks fake. They can't even show us the boss fight. They can't even show us the cutscene. You can't trust it. Yeah, because it's probably not finished. It's a pretty simple solution. They have not finished the boss fight yet. It seems like they might have been crunching. They might have been on crunch time, which is common in the gaming industry. From Software is not immune to crunch time. They got the DLC out within 2 years. The DLC is massive. It's full of amazing stuff. Of course, they're going to reuse stuff to make things, you know, go by faster. And there are a lot more bosses that we haven't seen. These are not even all of the bosses. Here is Bayle the Dread. This is something that was leaked in the initial leaks. But this fight might be the coolest fight and might be the hardest fight in the game. Just based on what I saw, I immediately said, oh yeah, this is the hardest fight. This comes from Noisy Pixel. This fight is insane.
Fun at this point. The boss was set up in a way that would either one-shot.
This guy says he wasn't having fun because he was getting one shot, but then he has like 30 vigor. So I think that's kind of more of like his problem, not the game's problem. Literally has like 30 vigor. His endurance is almost higher, and he has an HP debuff, so he's getting less HP than what he should have. And he's just complaining about being one shot. So I don't know.
Or I wouldn't have time
Go off,
to
I guess.
summon anything, quickly leading to my demise.
This fight looks crazy. Again, I'm getting Dark Eater Midir Part 2 vibes. Dark Eater Midir on steroids. He's back and angrier than ever. Obviously, it's not Dark Eater Midir. I'm being facetious. It reminds me of it, though. It's very reminiscent of it. Yeah, Bayle looks insane. I think this might be the hardest boss. Just a lot of shit going on. And again, we have even more. It gets crazier. But again, back to the Billy video. It gets even crazier back here. Lower quality, I know, but from what we saw earlier, we can confirm that this is real. We already saw English versions and higher quality versions. This is just a lower quality because I don't think I have an account on this website. That's probably why. This fight is crazy, bro. This fight is fucking insane. He's like a magma worm on steroids. Breathes lightning and fire. Like, I don't think Messmer is going to be the hardest fight. I don't think the final boss, whoever that is going to be the hardest fight. We have no idea. He does have some clear openings, like right there, but then look, phase 2. Phase 2 sprouts wings. It gets even harder. More AoE, like, yeah. That confirms Bayle from what we saw earlier. Now, here are some unconfirmed things. This is where you guys come in. Anybody watching, anybody in the community, you guys can come in here. This is where I need people's help. So, we have unconfirmed, no sources, things that are only word of mouth at this time. I think a lot of people are saying that there are other bosses. I think apparently from Vati Vidya's Discord, people are saying there are a lot more bosses that we haven't seen because we're also not allowed to show them. So it wasn't just the Radon fight people aren't allowed to show. There are apparently other fights that have a climactic ending to them. One of them involves Saint Trina, and the other one involves the Frenzy Flame of Chaos. Apparently, no, we're not fighting Saint Trina. Apparently, we're fighting someone, I guess, on behalf of Saint Trina. Like, we're fighting someone maybe related to Saint Trina. I don't know. But from what I learned is that there is two bosses named Midra and Mater. Midra and Mater. Apparently, Midra is the Lord of Frenzy Flame / Chaos. We don't know. We don't know if they're getting possessed, but we do have visuals of him. He was the guy from the trailer getting impaled. I think maybe what happens here is you put him down and you cut him down, but then after some like lore progression or story progression, you come back and he's actually like, that's when you see the cutscene of him ripping the shit out of his head, and then his head falls off and he becomes the Lord of Frenzy, or like something possesses him. Something like that. Kind of like how in the Chaos ending in Elden Ring, you have the Frenzy head. He gets that too, as far as I know, from what I've been seen. Apparently there's no confirmation on it though. We don't know exactly what his name is because he is an unnamed boss right here. You just have a health bar, like a random field enemy. This is not the boss fight. This is, I think, part of the boss fight. I think from a lore narrative standpoint, this is something that you kind of come back to later, and it looks like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, this was just a random enemy. Like, that was so easy. Then you come back later, and then he pulls the thing out of his head, and that's when you see the cutscene. That's when the actual boss fight starts. Apparently, people are not allowed to show that, though. Not confirmed, no sources, only word of mouth. That is the only thing I could find on this fight. If you guys can translate Japanese or give me a better understanding of what we're looking at here, I think that makes sense. But for the last one, we have no clue at all. Apparently, there's something named Mater, which is the Mother of Fingers. I don't know if I got these mixed up. These might be interchangeable. I think Midra might be the Mother of Fingers. I think Mater might be the Lord of Frenzy. I don't know. I have no idea. These are, again, no credible sources, just word of mouth. People are talking about it. Apparently, these bosses are insane. From what I've heard, you're not allowed to show them, though. Again, there are 3 storyline bosses. They can all be fought in one playthrough, is what I'm hearing. There are, like, it's not like different paths, but it's more just like, so think of it in like base Elden Ring, like how you can achieve Ronnie's ending and Fia's ending and other endings all in the same playthrough, like the base ending. I think what it seems like right now is the Radon fight is like the base ending, like no side quests done, nothing done. You don't have any side quests. You just run through the game. This is like the base ending, which is why I think maybe people might be unhappy with it. Again, the base ending of Elden Ring was pretty lackluster. You kill the final boss and you put your ass on a throne in a chair, and now you're Elden Lord. That was it. There was no like real lore besides that. It was just the game ends, you're Elden Lord. That's all you got. That's all you wanted. You start your own age, whatever that might be. No questions are answered. The other endings, though, like Ronnie's ending or the Fia's deathbed ending or the Frenzy Flame of Chaos ending, again, another Chaos like sort of ending. Yes, that's an ending for the game. I'm not saying the ending for the DLC, though. It's not an ending like that, so don't misconstrue that. It is an ending specifically for a certain NPC storyline. It's like the ending of an NPC quest, not an ending of the entire DLC from what I'm hearing. So it is possible, again, from what I've heard, only word of mouth, that you can fight all three in one playthrough. So if it is apparently this one is the one that's related to Saint Trina. This one is the one that's related to Chaos, and then the Radahn fight might be like the base ending. I don't know specifically. We have no idea, no confirmation. Again, only word of mouth. So this part is all just like speculation and conjecture of what I believe based on what we've seen, or based on what has been confirmed at least. Radahn is essentially confirmed. Unsure if it's the actual final boss, just based on his weapons being accessible. We have seen very, very convincing evidence of his weapons being real. And we have seen the spell, like Mikola's Light or whatever, also being used. That was in the leak. Again, I can't show that, but that spell was in the leak. So that kind of makes you think that, okay, from the boss fight, you can either get Mikola's spell or Radahn's swords. Either way, it's holy damage. So Radahn is essentially confirmed by the weapons in the game. If you don't believe me, please go watch these yourselves. Replay it back 10 times. Tell me it's fake. Tell me I'm dumb again. We'll see when it comes out. Might get a day one patch with a newer build version. I said this in my first video, that it might have just been an earlier build, and it's just how game developers did it. They didn't have time, probably crunch time. Unfortunately, it happens to every gaming industry. Every studio is not free from crunch time. They took their time with the base game, but you could tell for the DLC they were under crunch time because things just weren't finished. Was the Radahn fight real? Yes, it was. Again, I'm live right now just going through everything. Radahn is essentially confirmed. A lot of this fight is too early to judge. We only have the leak to go on. No current actual footage has been allowed yet by From Software or Elden Ring or Bandai Namco. Nobody. Again, most likely because it's not finished. I said this in my initial video. You can go back and fact check me. I literally said I started to doubt myself because literally everybody was telling me I was dumb and that the leaks were fake and it was wrong and it's clearly obviously a mod. I started to believe it. I legitimately got gaslit. So I legitimately thought, okay, maybe I'm wrong. I left my video up. I didn't take it down. I didn't turn off likes or dislikes. I let everybody voice their opinions or however they wanted. I was perfectly fine with taking the heat for it because I knew that if it was real, it would age very well. And I'm glad it was. Again, a day one patch is confirmed for a newer version of the build. The build that people were playing on in the leaks was probably an older build where things weren't finished or weren't as polished. If you want to know exactly how much a build is subject to change, there's a video here, which is about the 1.0 version of Elden Ring being different from previous build versions and from what we know right now. There are a lot of things that are huge, like the UI being completely different, Melania not having a certain move that she used to have. Apparently she had like a weird waterfowl dance move right here. This one was weird. This was cut out.
Waterfall dance? It looks very janky, so I'm not surprised they cut it. Perhaps they didn't have time.
I guarantee you nobody's seen that before. There's so many things that were in the initial build of Elden Ring that changed, even in the playtest. Even in the playtest, the network test changed. One of the biggest things in the network test was that Margit had a completely different name, and he used Melania's theme song, like her OST. So we have to keep an open mind of what is a placeholder and what isn't. But the fact remains that there are a lot of placeholder assets that have been in even base Elden Ring, and they confirmed already a day one patch is coming for the DLC. Now, it's not that the DLC is going to be patched immediately. It's that they're just going to patch in a newer version of a build that nobody else has used or played on yet, or maybe they have.
It's called Margit the Fellowman. Margit is actually using Melania's theme during his boss fight.
Yep, Melania's name right there. Super weird to hear it. There's a lot of changes. This video has literally 1,000 different changes on the release version versus like the 1.0 version. And even in the network test was different. Things in the network test area as well. I think this video talks about how even the network test has different things than the 1.0 version. So the pre-release version was still vastly different than the actual 1.0 version, and the 1.0 version is different than the release version. Don't let any of this cloud your judgment and say that this looks bad or sloppy. I have a video that pretty much confirms why Radahn is here. It was my Mikola theory video, my Messmer theory video. I'm pretty sure that my speculation was correct because this has been proven to be pretty much true at this point. Again, based on what people are saying, word of mouth, this has been proven. We've seen the weapons. Radahn is a final boss. He might not be the pivotal final boss of everything. There might be other bosses. Again, there's 3 main storylines apparently, or allegedly. All of these bosses can be fought in a single playthrough. Radahn is just one of them. And apparently, even the fight with Radahn changes based on what you do. a lot of things can change and are, I guess, variable, and they have like different your choices matter sort of outcomes. So again, what you guys need to understand is that a lot of it can be subject to change. The day one patch can change a lot. The newer build version can change a lot. It's not coping. Again, people keep saying it's just cope, that it's going to change things. Look at how much people said was cope earlier that there's actually proof for and verification of. So at this point, if you just keep saying cope, like you're the one coping at this point. I'm going based off what has been actually confirmed and vetted for by review copies. These are not leaks. These are not the random burner Reddit account that was leaking shit. This is not like random posts. These are from credible sources of people that have review copy access. Yeah, and apparently like people in Vati's server are talking about it, saying it's actually real, and it'll make a lot of sense once you actually play it. If you want to know about it and you want to see why it makes sense, please watch my lore video. I'm pretty sure almost everything I said in that video, not everything, but a lot of it towards the end in this video. Here's my own video. This video about Mikola, I literally say he's not a good person, and that Mikola actually is controlling people, and that he's a lot worse than we realize. So I called it back here, called it like 3 months ago. Probably the reason I didn't get invited to the From Software thing. I don't blame them. I pretty much predicted their DLC too. I would be salty if I were them too, because it seems like not everything obviously, but a majority of the major points I was making seems to be pretty consistent still. So salt. Everything is subject to change. It is not the final build. The final build is the release build, and even that can be patched further in the future like they've done with the base game of Elden Ring. Nothing is subject to being stagnant forever. If something sucks, From Software can change it. If something's good, they can even make it even better. Again, this is just what we knew before. This is it pretty much being all confirmed now. I spent all day. I've been live for 10 hours and 51 minutes at this point. Thank you guys so much for watching, being a part of the community. I will be streaming my playthrough of Elden Ring and the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC non-stop as soon as it comes out. I get access on the 20th. So I hope to see you guys all there. Appreciate everyone that believed me. Everybody that didn't believe me, there's still time to come in and join the family. I'm accepting everybody with open arms. Even if you thought I was a dumbass before, even if you insulted me before, everything shall be forgiven. I thought it was a little bit funny, so I did poke fun of it, but at the same time, it's just a game. It's just fucking... We're all a bunch of fucking nerds arguing over a video game on the internet anyways, so... It is what it is. It looked pretty legit just because I thought it was just a placeholder, and it turns out pretty much everything is true. So thank you guys so much for watching, being a part of the community, and helping me in this stream. I'm going to tune out now. I'm going to go relax. I've been live again for like 11 hours. So again, thank you to my community. Thank you to everybody that's been in the stream that just joined, confirming and sharing everything and trying to prove that what we know is real. I will share this Google Doc in the link in my description, and I'll see you guys tomorrow and very, very soon. As soon as we get access to the Elden Ring DLC, I am going live. You bet your ass I'm going live. More builds, more lore, more theories, doing everything, doing it big. Predicted the lore from the DLC till now, and the first trailer was literally one of the only people to confirm that this shit was pretty legit and provide evidence for it. So, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate everybody. Make sure you, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Turn on all the bells. Turn on the notifications, and I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna go lay down. Peace out. See ya.